So hello everyone, welcome to today's stream. Today we will just play some PvP. Yesterday we made a comprehensive tier list of PvP ranked, and now I want to prove that it's somewhat true. That I didn't come up with some random stuff. Yeah, that sounds good, Palencio, welcome. I was actually hoping that you would show up, just so that it's not that frustrating to play, you know, solo queue. Wanted also to test if how good Tempest is in the current meta. Yeah, I know it was used in the monthly AT, but the question is if I can perform as well in ranked with it. And testing support in solo queue games feels really, really bad. And yeah, I know. It's do we have anyone? I don't know. Anyone in our team? I actually played against him multiple times. Was not that fun of an experience because Mesmer is still quite strong, I would say. Yeah, let's see how we've... I mean, I think especially nowadays in matchmaking, it often feels like the enemy team has a really good player. And you know, they probably also have some really bad players in there.
The match starts soon.
Let's see. So Palencio, you said you run with Demon Queen sometimes if you side note, but do you use Wayfinder the other times, or are you using something else? No, always Demon Queen, because I think there are multiple options that you can go for as a Herald with Spear. Because I actually really enjoy... Oh no. Hammer Willbender. That's fun.
You've lost the quarry. You lost the waterfall.
So I played enough against Tempest that I know if they quickly... If you CC them after they swapped into a different element, it's most likely a kill actually. If you have some long-term CC. Just because it's so tough. Was that the Moa? I think it was the Moa. Or was it the other Signet again? Why did we lose the whole map? Insane.
The waterfall is yours.
Mistimed it a bit. It's not a good point here to fight so off point and directly in front of the enemy spawn. But I mean, you can't change where your team fights, I guess. Please kill the thief. Please. I should have disengaged that way further. I mean, I agree, Lynx and Demon Queen is a really good thing if you do it. But would you also run that in a team fighting scenario? Because I often feel like if you get focused with Demon Queen, you don't have that much way of disengaging because you're really slow, even with Lynx. But maybe that's just me. Just try to get the... Okay, he lightning flashed on me. Interesting.
You've lost the quarry.
Actually wanted to put it here. Is that a power herald with sword? Or is it a Condi herald with sword? Yeah, I totally see the point that Demon Queen can still be run, definitely. Yeah, he plays sword. But weird, really weird. Is it a Condi Herald with sword? I feel like that's not the way to go anymore. Actually thought I would was kiting the burst, but was not the case. I'm still not warm, I'm still sleeping. Yeah, definitely the burst was there. I actually thought I dodged the burst, but apparently Mesmer has 2 bursts, I forgot.
Lost the quarry.
That's a tough match, definitely.
The waterfall is yours.
Wow. I will not get the... the thief is actually not going for a decap, interesting.
Our moment has finally come.
Yeah, I think that's really impressive then if you can carry on in solo queue. I think that's where you see how good a player is, if you can carry in solo queue.
You've captured the quarry. You lost the waterfall.
I mean, I think it's totally fine if you are rank 1 and duo queuing and playing it normally. But I was never going for rank 1 just knowing that I probably will not get it. But if you say there is some really good player rank 2 just by solo queuing, that's really impressive. Why is this match so one-sided? Either we win the complete map or they win the complete map. It's insane. Yeah, I just want to have fun and have some exciting matches, you know. Especially now that I have some YouTube commentary action going on. I just want to have some fun games that I can talk about and have just some fun playing, you know. This skill actually hits really hard for that I'm not playing power. And it's a Condi weapon. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really, you underestimate how much damage actually weapons can do if you have some power on your amulet. I mean, it's obviously a weapon that is buffed a lot. I think it was not that good when it released, but still, yeah, they are all here. Did I get the interrupt? No, sad.
It has been too long. Allow me to act.
I think it's fine. I mean, they nerfed it in I think in PvE it only has one ammunition charge. I think that's also a reason why the skill is so broken that it has 2 charges. Good dodge. I think I'm not sure. Do they have a DC or where is the enemy team? More? Yeah. He moored him on top.
You've lost the quarry. The waterfall is yours. I have returned to fight at your side.
I mean, we are 100 points ahead almost. Could be enough. Welcome everybody to the stream.
You lost
Please.
the waterfall.
Let me cleave. No, that. I think we actually lost the match now. Ah, so sad. I have the feeling this season it's extreme. I have at least played 10 matches that we had and we threw in the last 100 to 50 points. It's actually crazy. Maybe it's me, but overcommitting with the team is always a mistake in Guild Wars. You get punished so hard. I mean, it's not over yet. Maybe we can still win. We just don't have to feed again. You know, we feed mid. But we gotta kill close. I get decap, maybe even cap here. I think we are good. I think we are fine here. Oh, he plays... What is he playing? Offhand X, shield and sword? Nice, we won. But why would he play offhand X and play... I think he also has the proc, you know, the damage proc with on Legend Swap, so he plays Corruption. I'm not sure. Really weird. Maybe Grieving? Yeah. Invoke Torment, yeah, that's the name. Yeah. I'm not sure. Let's see. Maybe I can play some support Tempest. I mean, I think there was a build before that used exactly this setup, but it was way back. I think it was years ago at this point. Where Spear didn't exist. Maybe he doesn't have the newest expansion. That would make sense. But I think this build is just, if you don't have Spear, it's way weaker. I think the Spear makes this build really good. You know, if you don't use Spear, you lack a lot of your damage and you are just a sitting duck without any damage, you know. I don't know. Let's see who we get, you know. At least the queue times are really good for me right now. Let's see if it stays that way. But if I play in the morning or even in the afternoon, I have queue times always 5 minutes plus. And I would say most of the time the matches are still really bad. So if the queue times are short, I often feel like the matches are way better. Okay. That seems like a good team. Who are we up against? That's insanely stacked, our team actually. Okay, Sickness, Alki, Penny. So now I was thinking we have 2 DHs. That's okay. I mean, I have actually in this if this is a Power Reaper, I would be really happy. If it's a Condi Reaper, I'm not that happy as a Tempest. I will stick for now on Stoneheart just to make sure. You could go actually, just for the people that are interested, you could go and swap this to Diamond Skin. That's totally valid now. If they have more Condi, then we definitely have to go Diamond Skin, just because we need the cleanse. So yeah, it makes sense. We have so much team fight potential. Just we need a side noder, yeah, definitely. Just have to go back into the support mindset. I often feel like if you play support and you'll have a completely different mindset.
You've lost Lion.
Okay.
You've captured the field.
I guess you are fine. but I still come far because they are all on respawn or about to be. I don't know where they are going.
You've captured Dragon.
I think the opener on a support is always easy, but after that you can make really bad decisions. I had matches where, I'm not joking, I had matches where teammates of mine were writing I'm the worst support they ever have seen, and then someone said I carried the match in the same match. So good. I think where is the whole enemy team? There's one.
You've captured Lion.
What killed me there? Nah, don't rest it. Too many people. Countercleave the Reaper, that's better. Hello, guys. Okay, sounds good. I got 4K or something from ranged while I had the aftershock, the magnetic aura up. So in ranked games, I always go for the cliff if I see someone down, because if there's some downstate battle and I just save the cliff for the next game, I often feel it's just so sad if the enemy team rallies and we lose the fight because of that. So I think they gave up.
Red team has obtained an artifact.
I mean, makes sense. It's totally unfair, this match. I don't know what the matchmaking is thinking. I always have the feeling sometimes really high-level players are just in their, how's it called, placements. And therefore the matches are really unbalanced. No one is going for decaps, they are just coming out of spawn to get killed. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is we will now have a match where we win, and then the next match will be the other way around. Let's not hope so. I think it's always more exciting to have some really close matches. Yeah, let's see. I think the problem is also currently is AT ongoing. It's also not helping that the match quality goes up. I was surprised that we got a match this fast and now it's such an unbalanced match. Why do I say actually?
The Colosseum's artifacts are accruing power.
It's weird, why could I see his weapons, his legendaries? Interesting.
Your team is victorious.
Look at this. 2 duo Q, no duo Q, and total stomp.
Maximum power.
Good. So by the way, my title on Twitch is not a joke, it's real. If you have any advice for my gameplay, but also in general for the stream feedback, I'm always happy to hear that. I'm not above any feedback, you know. I think learning is really important in life, but also in PC games. If you want to get better, you should get advice from anyone that is willing to give you. So please, if you have any comments, always let me know. Of course, in a friendly manner. No, it doesn't help me if you say I'm shit. That's not helpful. Yeah, exactly. I know that I'm shit, but that I'm fine with it. But the question now is, how can I improve? How can I get better? I think that's the mindset you should have, you know. Not everyone thinks that. I think a lot of people, especially in high-level PvP, think they are absolutely best. It's always the team that makes the mistakes. It might be true that the team makes the mistakes, but you also didn't play perfectly. So I think you should always try to change that you can change, which is your own gameplay. So. I also think I had some really nasty encounters recently in PvP where people just wrote me, whispered me, "You are shit" and stuff like that. And it doesn't help the PvP community, you know. It's so small, and if you always are toxic without constructive criticism, it's not good. But I feel like that's a problem in every PvP game. And if you have a small community, you encounter it just more often. At least I feel like, and therefore I try to be really positive and try to improve without flaming anyone. I mean, I really enjoy Tempest, especially after the buff to rebound. It's now, you have so much stability access, you have all your transmutes, you have your overlords, this one especially, and then you have with rebound stability, and if you have this trait, you also grant stability. It's really fun. You're actually, I think, the most consistent stability giver if you can stay near your team. Could also go for dagger focus actually, but the problem on dagger focus I feel like is that you have to be close. You don't have that much cleanses if you don't run diamond skin. And I really enjoy staff. The CC is so good in ranked matches. You have the only real problem against the CCs are willbenders when they use the F3 skill, because they ignore it, but every other spec currently doesn't have that much access to stability, so they just get denied so much potential when you place down your AoE CCs. So we talked about it, Valentio. Now we have him in the enemy team. Let's see how we fare. Place 2 on the leaderboards. Can we win against this legendary player? Yes. I mean, even legends can lose, you know? So let's see. But it seems unlikely. We have some... What is this? Signet Catalyst? Yeah, exactly. I think that's what your mindset should be. Really? So bringer of death is Obindo, and Obindo with his first account is also there. Yeah, I mean that then you know why Obindo is probably the best player on EU currently. So that makes sense. Might be that some Wind Trader shows up at 1st of December and snatches the title, but I think we all know that's not legitimate, you know. I mean, Valencia and I just want to have some fun, and if we can learn something from the matches, it's even better.
Hold on to your points. Seize theirs.
I have 2 Tempest. That's an interesting team comp. Ah, okay. The one of it's a Condi Berserker. Okay, they are really cooking the team here.
Enemy captured the windmill.
Yeah, so okay, instantly lost. Okay, do we have oh nice, we have a trap. That's how we win this match.
Enemy captured the mansion.
Nice, I got the EMAP.
Enemy captured the clock tower. Enemy captured the mansion.
I think we should just go for 2 cap. They have a thief and we have a support. It makes more sense to just go for 2 cap, but at this point it's probably really hard to come back. Because they will just snowball us. Oh, we got a kill mid, but it's probably too late. I really thought that they would come to you and outnumber you, Palencia, but okay. I can't get that res.
Enemy captured the clock tower.
I was actually thinking about precasting the cliff, but wanted to make sure that I get the cliff. Precasting wouldn't have been that much value if I didn't get it, you know. So would have gotten it in this moment, actually.
Enemy captured the mansion.
Yeah, I think that's not a good one. It's crazy that we play against Obindo and we get the
Enemy captured the windmill.
elementalist that is trapping. It's actually crazy. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to do here.
Enemy captured the mansion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even tilted or anything. I think it's totally fair that you lose some. It's just really surprising if you play against the top 2 leaderboard and you get an elementalist that is on purpose throwing by going to trap in the first second. It's really surprising, you know. You would expect that the enemy is getting that, but okay. Yeah, I mean, happens. I hope next match we win, or at least we have some close matches. We didn't have any yet. Minus 16. Okay. Hey Kenshi. Yes, this time I tried to play some Tempest support just to have some different, you know, playstyle. And I actually really enjoy Tempest support. I think that's, if I had to choose, I think it's probably my favorite support in PvP, just from design. It's really fun. It has healing, cleansing, stability. When you play staff, it's amazing stability access. It's really fun. And there are actually, at this point, I think there are 4 variants that you can play. It's I wanted to test which one is the one that I like the most, or that is the most successful in my ranked matches, at least. I think for example, the match we had right now, we probably would have lost anyway, but I think this was a match where I should have gone for some dagger focus action. Maybe even swapping. I think that dagger focus would have been good. Because dagger focus actually has less access to stability, but it has more potential to cleanse if you combine it with diamond skin. And if you face a lot of condition pressure, or at least it lost a lot of just deliver some conditions that just weaken you are crippled, and that it's way easier if you cleanse for your team, you know, the vulnerability, the blind and stuff. If you cleanse all of that, oftentimes that's even better. And you have here an aura, which is area. Then you have here an aura, and on shocking aura. So you have a lot of auras actually on dagger focus. All of them give protection. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. I also usually run with Relic of Leadership, just because you can go for Trooper. I think that's the optimal choice most of the time. But I feel like if I get pressured by conditions, I want to have a panic button. And if I instantly cleanse 3 conditions by using Rebound, I will get stability, I will get a delayed aura, I will get some lethal damage protection. I think there is actually some synergy there. Yeah, sure. I mean, always happy to give some tips, but at the same time, I'm always happy to receive some tips, some advice. If you have any tips in the chat, if you see any mistakes, mistakes I made in the last match, I'm always happy to hear what I could have done better, you know. That's my mentality is to try to improve at any given moment. Okay, so is this a support chrono? Because 2 supports is just deadly. No, I don't think so. Okay. Okay, so no support from me in this match. Let's go for some Willbender then. Yeah, that's nice. I really think that's my mentality, and if people enjoyed it, even better. And if there are some people that don't enjoy this mentality or this thinking that I'm not the most arrogant person and always want to just show my best side and never show how I improve, then they should not watch me. I think I don't want to please everyone just by being, I don't know. I think now I go for Willbender because Benny is a good player, so he plays support, and we need some damage if we have a support. But I would also say we have a lot of burst damage, so Palencio is probably our side noder, so let's see if we can make that work. Oh no.
You've lost the dock. The bazaar is yours.
Was some nice burst. Really nice, really nice. Dodge. No dodge. Nice, we got him. But we got actually killed here. That's actually crazy. Nice, we got another kill.
You've taken the archway.
The stealth access is actually killing me here. Sad. see how much damage a Willbender gets just by Mind the Gap. It has a 4-second cooldown or something, 5-second. So don't underestimate Spear. Even after the nerfs on Mesmer, it's so good.
Be ready to give the signal and return fire once the cannons are loaded.
Now I just don't want to run into mid-fight because it's lost. There are 4 people there. Just want to make sure that we don't get killed here on close.
Your enemy took the archway. Cannons loaded. Ring the bell to signal them to fire. Red team, ring the bell. Fire all cannons.
Nice, we got the kill.
The bazaar is yours. Your enemy took the archway.
Willbender gameplay. I just have to focus so much because I'm permanently teleporting and it's actually crazy how squishy everyone is, you know. If I engage, I might get a lot of damage, but if I engage, I might also get a lot of damage into the enemy team. So it's crazy. If you play Willbender, you are always, you know, there is no way that you don't get kills. One way or the other, there will be some deaths.
You've taken the archway. The bazaar is yours. You've lost the dock. Be ready to give the signal and return fire once the cannons are loaded.
What? 6k spirit proc? Sounds good.
Cannons loaded. Ring the
So it's a
bell to
4v4
signal
on the
them
map
to
now,
fire.
but we get decapped for... Nice, we got the CC chain before he could get his Clint heal off. Just wanted to go here for some counter cleaves so that we don't get the stomp here from the enemy team. Was the right decision because this one stealthed. No, please. Go for the cap. Please.
Blue team, ring the bell. Fire all cannons.
There are 2 people here on our Guardian. Maybe we can get the kill here. Careful, careful, the thing is engaging this. Okay, he didn't get the damage on me.
You've taken the archway.
Take the initiative.
You see the ports, the jumps, it's insane. So if you are, you know, some epilepsy problem, I think that's not where you should be in my stream, sorry. At least not if I play PvP. Yeah, I think PvP is really fun. I just think it's one of the best game modes, just because of how fun it can be.
The dock's been captured. The bazaar is yours.
Two ranged players on a Willbender. That's not gonna work out for the Willbender. We have to be careful not to die here. We are outnumbered on the map, but we get a counter kill. That's good. Because if the bell is up and we get killed, it's actually not good. I think if you're a hardcore PvP player and just play PvP all the time, you actually have enough time to go for 2 or multiple accounts, actually. Just because you enjoy it and you grind it all the time. That was not the smartest move.
Blue team ring the bell. Fire all cannons.
Nice, we got the bell. Looks good. This guy goes for the decap. We have to be careful. But I think at this point it's actually won. I think they...
Bring them to justice.
Sharp blade, sharp mind.
You've taken the archway.
Relentless.
Blend of talents.
No letting up.
Look at the damage. He won. Very nice.
Your team is
Well played,
victorious.
Palencio. I mean, the question is, if you, of course, a lot of people, especially when there was login rewards that you could get daily from alt accounts, then a lot of people have alt accounts to just log in. But if you really go for 2 in the leaderboard, that's I think something different. So I think if you play just 1 match a day, you just get very easy access to the Wizards World. That's why you get a lot of just free gold just by playing PvP, one match each day. I think that's the main reason you would do it. And I think Obindo does it because I think Obindo has his main account is just duo queuing with boys or other good people. And his second account is his, solo queued, and you see the difference. I think that's totally fair. I mean, and then a lot of good PvPers also have an NA account, so if you want to play PvP on an A as a UU player, you'd have to have a different account. I think that's also totally valid. Of course, the question is if it's, you know, if it's really necessary to have multiple accounts on the same server. But I think if you value that, of course, you can buy another account. It's not that expensive, and you get probably more money than just playing one account. In-game money, of course. I was really debating yesterday if Tempest as a supporter is better than Chrono currently. Because for monthly ATs, I think the answer, at least on EU, is yes. Because both teams in the finals played Tempest. But I feel like if you can get enough value on Tempest in ranked matches that you have the same potential as a Chronomancer with Spear, I'm not really sure about that actually, even after the nerfs. To Signet of Illusions, for example, I think that's the biggest nerf that Mesmer got in a long time. And it's still run on support Chrono, you know, that's how crazy good it is. Even after the 50% nerf, you know, of course you got a cooldown reduction, but it's still really weak in contrast, you know, to what it was before. Before it was just an amazing skill. And I think on Tempest you have multiple variants that you can play. And if you play it really well, I think they can work. But I feel like often in ranked it's just about how much support you can give while still dealing damage. And I think Tempest lacks in that department. I'm not sure. Maybe that's just my opinion right now about ranked supports, but what do you think is? Chat, do you have any opinions on that, or is it not that important to you? Because I feel like in support discussion in ranked matches might not be very important, because oftentimes in ranked it's not the support that is in the match rank, the winner of the match, you know. If you played Chrono or Tempest, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Either you play better or you still lose the match. At least that's my opinion. Yeah, welcome, Psycho, Sekai. I mean, I'm always happy to give some advice or some tips if you have any questions. But I would say it's totally fine to just say you don't know, because I feel a lot of people, especially in PvP, think they know what they are doing, but the real answer would be it's very limited what they know. To some extent, that's also true for me. I know a lot about builds, but my gameplay, as you can see in my stream, is not perfect, but far from it actually. So I won't pretend I know everything, but I can help you if you have some questions regarding all game modes, not only PvP. Yeah, I think especially as a WoW veteran, I think you will have not difficulties, but I would say it's really fast-paced Guild Wars 2 combat. Especially nowadays where you have a lot of overloaded skills that deal so much damage, do a lot of stuff meanwhile, and it's really fast-paced because you can cast all of the attacks probably without a target, so that might be no problem. Crazy, so you're actually not that bad. Gold is actually above average, I would say. If you're gold 2, that's somewhere really close to average or slightly above. So it's actually rather good if you come from a different game and didn't play Guild Wars for a long time. Yeah, Bladezone is I would say in the past it was really good. I really enjoyed Bladezone when it came out. I think it was 2020 with the release of End of Dragons with the expansion. It was so good. It was such a good spec. But now they nerfed it so much. It's just a shadow of its former glory, you know. It's just not that good anymore. Of course, if you enjoy it, go for it. No, there's no wrong. But it was way stronger before. If you know your elite on Bladezone, where you recharge your Bladezone ammunition skills, previously it recharged all ammunition skills you had. And if you run shouts on Warrior, they have nowadays ammunition, and they would also recharge from that. So it would be insanely strong how much you could recharge by that. And then you had the shout heal, so you could heal when you use the shout. So you get actually, just from using your elite, you will get 10k or something healing just by getting resets of your shouts. It was so fun to play and so annoying to face because it was so tanky. It has so much sustain.
The match starts soon.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Be sure to check out my YouTube as well. Just some self-promotion. I also do a lot of videos. I don't have a Bladezone video yet, but we'll see. Maybe in the future I get some Bladezone builds.
Hold on to your points. Seize theirs.
So now let's focus. What do we have here? A lot of no support, just a lot of damage in the enemy team. He ported in, so he doesn't have any energy. Please focus this guy.
The waterfall is yours.
Nice, we have him.
You've lost the quarry.
No, I failed the jump. Yeah, nice. Get the kill. Perfect. Did I rally? That's nice. Very nice. That's what we want. Now I can get resustain. That's why I like support. If you get focused, your team has free reign over the match. It's perfect. Yeah, Dagger Catalyst is actually a really good build. I think that's way better than Bladezone. So if you enjoy Dagger Catalyst, you should try that out. It's really good in PvP right now. I made a build guide about it if you want to know how to play it, but if you already know, you should just, how is it called, train on it, you know. Because that's better than every YouTube video is just playing, you know. Just playing. Nice, we got the kill. Some support for Palencio.
You've lost the quarry.
So that's nice. So that's a really good thing you could do, as at least this guy, is just go for 2 cap if you have a support, because the support gets value from being in a team fight. If you just go for 2 nodes, you force the enemy team to team fight you, especially if they don't have a support and you have one. That might be the matchmaking play, but in general you should always think about if you really get value from going for the 3rd node. we now got value because we got a kill and get the... This guy's dead as well. You see the CC, he got locked down so much, instant dead. Yeah, what I was going to say, 3 nodes is only worth it if you have a lot of side noders and you can't really teamfight the enemy team. If you have a teamfight comp, you should try and think about if it's really worth it to go for the 3rd node. Exactly, so I can't tell you that much information. You just have to learn and play the game, you know. That's the most important thing. You can't get the experience that you would get from just playing the game.
You've captured the quarry.
You see the blood bank in action. When I was healing him, he got barrier as well. That's really fun. Yeah, that's the main problem. You can't really tell people in one video or multiple videos how special, what animations to look out for, because there are just so many. There are so many builds, so many possible skills that you could run. You just have to learn and play against them, see what is worth it to dodge, what is not important. I think that's the biggest issue when you come in a new MMO that has been out for years. At this point, it's actually decades, so it's really hard. I totally get it, but I think it's also fun. You know, you have a lot to learn. I think for me now, I don't have that much new skills to see, you know, and that makes it a little bit less exciting. I have to be honest, you know. Let me leave. I tried a lot of different MMOs and I also played it for quite a long time, but I always keep coming back to Guild Wars just because the combat is so special, and I have to just agree it's probably the best combat in any MMO I have seen so far. Even the newest ones, you know, if you look at Lost Ark, Throne of Liberty, they don't have the potential. I feel like the combat is not as good. But I have to agree that Guild Wars is just too small to have really good PvP. I think the systems are okay. I'm not sure. I actually don't play WoW PvP. But the systems are okay in Guild Wars, but it's just the population is too low to support any good PvP content for competitive side, you know. It's fun to play, but it's not, you can't really say, wow, we have some esports ready combat or PvP. It's not how it is, sadly.
Your team is victorious.
Easy win. And all top stats, no joking. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the most important things to consider as a PvP player, especially on, for example, support, but also on a side noder, I think is just don't die. If you don't die for 15 minutes straight, I think you carry the match more often than just playing aggressive and dying in not good situations, you know. I feel like if you just don't die, you get so much value. Of course, you can just not die and stand in the spawn, but I feel like if you play it safe, oftentimes that might be really good. Okay. Exactly. If you don't die and survive, even if you lose the node, it might be way better than just dying on node, because you think it's conquest, I have to die on node. I think that's one of the decisions you should only make if you know, okay, I will die in the next 2 seconds and I will not be able to kite because I die off point then, and then I can Bled is that's what you not should do. But if you know your cooldowns and you see, okay, I'm half life, I only have some cooldowns left, then I go kite. That's a smart decision. I think you can also do it. It's not only then when it's close. You can also do it if you really see, okay, there are 3 people engaging on me. I don't have any cooldowns to go to a kite spot. I just die or not. Because oftentimes I feel like, especially people like me that are not really, really high level PvPers, they think, okay, I can go for a kite. And they do that when they almost don't have any cooldowns. And they just die off point. And they give so much more value to the enemy team for killing you. I think you should always think about it that you don't get bled out. Because that's one of the worst feelings you can have in a PvP match. Just thinking I can survive and then you die off point and lose not 20 seconds, but you also lose 40 seconds or something like that. So I know this guy is power, which is good for me, with some nice reflects. If this is also power, I'm happy. If it's 2 Condis in the enemy team, then I should go for diamond skin. But I just risk it now and go for my favorite trade, Stoneheart. Thanks for the follow. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the stream so far. Yeah, I'm always happy to give advice. I think it's an important thing. I am not, the best PvP player, but I'm better than a lot of people. And I think it's good to help new players to get into the game mode. I think it's really complex. It might not be easy to learn. Holy shit, they are hard focusing on me. I got it. Nice, we got the kill. Did I hit him? Please I hit. Yes. Why are there 5 people the whole match on me? That's so sad. You've captured the field. I mean, I guess it's worth it if we kill the whole team just by... They focus so hard on me that we get the kill. But did you see, the first time I glyphed myself with the fire glyph, so I get a delayed self-res. And then the second time I rallied, and the third time I was just too much damage on me. But you see how much value we got from that. My team was completely able to clean up the fight. That's worth it. If you die in this situation, it's worth it. But you should never die in a situation where you just overcommitted. That's not where you want to be. Now we overcommit a bit here. I think that's not where you want to be most of the time. Directly in front of the enemy spawn is not a position where you should be. But we could draw out a bit, Let's see. We can let him bleed. They don't have a res, I think. I'm not sure how many there are close, but I probably think it's only 1. That is dead. No, I actually play every single spec. I just try to have fun. No, please don't die now. Don't die on me.
The Colosseum's artifacts are accruing power.
I try to play everything, just, you learn a lot by playing different classes. I think if you play, for example, Willbender, and you learn how to burst, then you know how to play against the Willbender. I think that's one really important thing to consider. But the thing is, in Guild Wars 2, if you play a lot of classes, most likely you are worse at them than you would be if you just focus on one class really, really good. But of course there are exceptions. Obindo is really good, Boys is good. Those people that are really high level, they can play multiple classes at a really high level. But for me, I would say I am definitely worse when I play multiple classes, but I think that's fine. Because it's more fun for me, you know, the variety is spice of life, you know. Actually got the res, really good. Was really close, was a bit risky. Because if I didn't get it, I was not able to interrupt it. But at this point, actually, I think that's a good swing for the fight. Why is he going in? Is he crazy? Exactly. I think you should never think, okay, I have to play this and then this and this. I think you should learn one thing, and then if you feel like you're bored or you know enough, then you can go to something else. I think that's how you would typically go and learn stuff. It's like if you want to learn a new language, you wouldn't say, okay, I know how to say hello in different languages, and then I go to instantly to the next one. You know, that's not how you would just learn a language. You have to progress a little bit to go to the next. I think that's. So why is my Willbender going far when there are respawns coming in? I can't help him there.
Red team has obtained an artifact. You've captured dragon.
Everyone is porting everywhere. Yeah, I think it's a typical Willbender trait, you know. As a Willbender, you just have to always be pushing the enemy team. If you see an enemy, you rush for it. I think that's a typical Willbender trait. If you don't do that, you're not a Willbender, you know. You're I like that the dodge is normally an evade, but if you put down your static field, they get interrupted in the evade. That's really nice. I mean, it's totally fine. I think Willbender is a fun spec to play. You saw it a few games ago, last game, I'm not sure. I played it, and it was fun. You know, it's so engaging. You have so fast-paced combat. I really enjoy it. But you have to be aware that the greed will get you. If you go for some greedy plays, you will die always.
Red team has obtained an artifact.
Protected.
You've captured dragon.
Got him. But I think, I mean, to be honest, it's also the thing that makes Willbender fun, you know. Not a lot of specs have that, you know, oh, I have to go for the kill, I have my cooldowns up, because the cooldowns on Willbender are always up, you know. There's almost no cooldown that is not up. Just your elite is actually the only thing. It was close again. This time I'm here for the Willbender. You see, if I get the Willbender and can support him, it's an amazing combi. Double kill. Easy.
You've lost lion.
Where do I want to go? I mean, it's one of the most satisfying things to do as a Willbender, to just engage and get multiple kills, because you have so much cleave. But in PvP, I would say that multiple classes can actually do that. I would say if you like that playstyle, you should play Spear Mirage. I think Spear Mirage is actually, I would say, if you are really good at it, possibly better than Willbender. Just because it has even more burst damage while not losing any, you know, if a Willbender, if it does burst damage, it can still get damage. You know, you still receive damage. As a Mirage, if you do your burst combo and play it really well, you will not get any damage. And Spear Mirage is obviously, it's really hard, but it's really fun as well. I think, can someone come to me, or are we just, do I have to wanna power Herald? I think that's not what we want to do as a support.
The Colosseum's artifacts are accruing power.
Yeah, no problem, man. But of course, it's Mesmer. If you don't like a lot of spam instant cast skills, then you should not play it. But I feel Mesmer is a really fun class. It was one of my favorite classes. Still is. But sadly, it's also one of the hardest classes in PvP, I would say. To get it to a high level, you know.
You've captured the field. Red team has obtained an artifact.
Nice, I dodged the Wilbender burst. Perfect. Why are we losing the whole map? What? Guys, we only need 16 points. I mean, I guess we can also go for kills. Okay, we got the cap. That's enough. Good, very nice. Yeah, was fun match. I mean, the thing is, the population is just so low. So Roderick, I would say, if you get 3 silvers in your team and then the enemy team, you also get 3 silvers, I think that's okay. The problem is more if you have those people if you get people that are bad and in the enemy team there are no really bad people, I think that's a problem. I think it should be really exciting in the sense that you have a match that is fair. It doesn't have to be all people have to be at exactly the same level. I think that's just the population is just too low for that. Is he support? Is this a torch? It's also it's also a really valid tactic to see who is the weakest player in the enemy team and always focus them, because then it might be that you have a 4v5 after that all the time. It's a valid tactic. I think you have to find the tactic that works for you. that's another question. I don't know. I just try to play. So let's see if is it a where's a Condi core NG? No, there's no. Okay. It's most of the time it's the person that dies first. It's often the case.
The match starts soon.
I think this match will be hard because they have a Willbender and we have a Core Guard, and I think Core Guard is just losing every single encounter with a Willbender. A power Core Guard. Yeah. But let's see, you know, I try my best.
Hold on to your points. Seize theirs.
I don't know why is this a power? It's so random what people are playing nowadays. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Willbender is so good at the moment. Maybe they don't have the expansion? I don't know, you know. Did he just blink up? Oh no.
Lost dragon. You've lost life.
How did we lose all them points? No. What? Who? Did someone get the port stomp or what was it? Crazy. I'm not sure if I should raise my Signet or my Glyph for the Core Guardian. That's also a decision that is just so hard to make. I'm not sure. I don't think it's worth it.
You've captured dragon. You've lost the field.
Try to get the decap here. No. Then I go close. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say for the best player, but, you know, for a fight that it's worth it to go for, you know. Oftentimes it's just, you should not waste your Glyph on someone that is going to die in the next 5 seconds again. I think we just try to support our team while Palancia wins the rest of the map. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. They have a rather good decap DH, which is probably not the way. I don't know. I missed that I should have gone for the Glyph here. I think that would be valuable.
You've captured lion. The artifacts have reached maximum power.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think that's also what I said in my tier list. Bunker DH is actually a really good build for ranked.
Red team has obtained
Just because you have so much value against people that don't know how to play against it, you know. Now he kites, and as soon as we leave, he will cap the point again, you know. How? Okay, did I get the rally? So hard. If I leave them close, they will probably get capped or decapped, I don't know. But will not... nice, we got the decap. So Palancia has not 2 people on him. Maybe I can draw them to us and we can win a 2v3. Might be worth it.
You've captured the field.
Oh, sad.
Red team has obtained an artifact.
Yeah, but I don't. The problem is now, Palencio is outplaying, but our team gets outplayed, and then I don't know where to go. You know, I have to support my team, but my team loses every fight. You know, so that's the pain of playing a support when you don't really know what to do. I think a really good support would have made the right choice. Yeah, I'm not sure if we can come back from this 160 point deficit. I'm not sure if, you know, maybe if I play it better, maybe I can stay more in a fight. But at this point,
The Colosseum's artifacts are accruing
I
power.
actually thought they would get the cleave there. Sad. I was actually canceling my cliff because I thought they get the cleave. That was sad. I actually would have gotten it. But now we lost. I'm not even sure if it would have made a difference. And now we have the problem that one after the other will run mid. You know, so we have the Mesmer against 3 people. Insta dead, I can't support him. That's why it's tough. It's really tough. We should always ignore the fight with the bunker DH. But I also feel our team fight is bad because those people are already dead. You know, what do I do now? Yeah, it's really hard. I think I'll just leave the bunker DH there and go for, I don't know, re-engage far.
You've lost life.
Focus this.
Team has obtained an artifact.
Very good. Nice, we got the double kill. Stability. So we get the kill here. $150 points, it's gonna be really tough. I'm not sure. My team is constantly losing and feeding close. Oof. I mean, Palencio is doing good on far. It's a tough match. It's really tough.
You've captured the field.
Yeah, if the cutter would be on DD, it would be good. But our Virtuoso is also not doing really good. I don't know, if I leave they will die. If I stay, we don't get value on the map. It's so hard. I don't know. What can I do? Yeah, the DH won in the game for sure.
The Colosseum's artifacts are accruing power. You've lost the field.
They're always against 2 people. 2 people against 1. That's how we lose the match, because we are playing always with 1 player down.
You've captured
I mean, we got a kill here. That's good enough. But we get decapped here by the bunker DH for sure. Yeah, we got it. We got the kill. That's good enough. I mean, he plays with the shield. Oh no. Whew. I mean, Palencio is doing good on far. I tried to... He got killed again. I don't know. At this point, So how many people are far? I think I have to help Palencio at this point.
You've captured Lion.
Enemy team have 2 guards.
You've lost Dragon.
It's really hard. It's really hard now. And more arts, okay. I mean, we got a kill, so please be careful. And they get the rest. Nah, it's just over. There are 5 people here now. Mesmer got the self-rest. Yeah, that rest was just... I mean, it was the nail in the coffin. I think this match was lost 5 minutes ago, but I could have played that better. I think I did not expect 4 people to go on me, but you see, they are permanently 2v1, so this card gets so much value. It was just this card, or you could say those 2 players were throwing this match for the enemy team.
Lost the field.
I mean, I could go for a decap here.
The Colosseum's artifacts are accruing power.
Yeah, I mean... What? He even wins it, it's a bunker DH and he wins the fucking 2v1. He wins it. Oh, I didn't get big cliff. Yeah, that's sad, but you can't do anything against it.
You've captured Lion. The artifacts have reached maximum power.
Yeah, but it was good. It was nice. Yeah, I think that's what I mean. I think they both have their use cases. I think if you play support chrono, I think it's a little bit faster. But the problem as a support chrono is that if you have if you get damaged and you have a lot of health lost, and you have to kite, a support chrono doesn't provide a lot of range healing. This build provides all of its utility except its shouts on range, So you have so much healing on range that can be also really good, especially combined with your CC skills, This is unblockable. This is to some extent unblockable. For example, if you use Dagger Storm or something on a thief, it will catch them even though they evade. So I think both of them have value. I think support chrono, you're right. I think it would have been better in this match just because you have more mobility, but I think it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. I have to admit. I think it would not have changed the outcome, to be honest. What's the place? So I can show you. So the place where I film my videos, my gold guides, it's in the Lion's Arch Airdrome in one of the raid wings. I can show you. It's just so fitting, So this is the Mystic Forge raid wing, where you normally do raid bosses, obviously. But if you like the environment, you can go there. And I can show you. It's directly at the start of it. Let's go like this. Yeah, I try to produce content on YouTube very consistently. I think that's what I aim for. Consistent, quality content. Let's make it like this. It's still weird that you have to be in a 10-man group to go into raid. So it's called the Mythrite Gambit. So this is the raid where you are in the Mystic Forge. You can see it. And then you fall down, and that's exactly the spot. I'm just standing here then. So I hope that answers your question. Exactly. So if you want to show off and think, yeah, I'm such a rich person, this is the place where you should do your YouTube videos, you know. And I think it's really fitting if I explain some stuff about gold making. I always try to go here. Sure, no problem. But it's really pretty. I think it's a really pretty environment, I have to admit. Yeah. So I think I will do some more roaming now. So not PvP anymore, just some more roaming. Let me change the description. Yeah, I think to be honest, Wing 6 is one of my favorite raid wings, just from this design perspective. I think it is probably, to be honest, the hardest raid wing for... I'm not sure, maybe, I don't know. But I think it's also really fun. I think Lagos is one of my favorite bosses, just because it's so good, you know. It is not mechanically heavy, but you have so many attacks that you have to avoid. It feels like a PvP fight, you know. You have attacks to dodge, you have stuff to dodge. I think that's really amazing. I really liked it. And I think Kadim 1 is also a really well-designed fight. You have so many mechanics to take care of. I think almost every single player in the team has to do a special mechanic. I think that's cool. But that makes him probably the hardest fight in the game currently. You know, the baseline fight. At least that's my opinion. You are just playing some World vs. World roaming and then talking about raids currently right now. I think Kadim 1, yeah, I think it's really good. I think that's how challenging boss fights should be, I think. Welcome. Rage Royale. Welcome everyone. Hope you had a nice stream. Yeah, so I think, for example, I think the ideas in this Kadim fight is also really nice. You know, so you have really fun mechanics with the bouncing ball. You have the mechanics with the lamp. You have the mechanics with the enemies that you have to kill. You know, that you're not really fighting Kadim all the time, but you fight some minions of him. I think it's a really good fight. I think it's my favorite fight by design. So let's check. You're going for raids. It's actually really active. It's currently Wednesday, and you can see there are a lot of people, even training groups. And for raids, it's actually really active. Of course, now it's perfect prime time. There is no better time to raid. I think maybe on Monday it's better. But in general, I think it's quite active in the evening. Yeah, and of course, Apple is right there. Then in 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks, the new raid wing is coming up. and a lot of people now are back to playing raids, therefore. Which is cool. I think that's how it should be, you know. People should be excited to play the new raid wing. It's coming up. So Koala Beer, let me really summarize that really aggressively to you. There is almost no condition fight in Guild Wars 2. Almost every single fight in Guild Wars, in raids, or in any, let's say, mechanic, is a power fight. The reason for that is that power is front-loaded damage, and you guarantee this damage. There is no real condition fight. How would you decide a condition fight? It would have been you have to attack the boss. It should have, for example, really high toughness or something, so that you don't receive that much power damage. And then it goes away and it still ticks conditions or something. So something like that would have been the design for a condition boss. The reason, and that's the important thing to understand, the reason why people say, for example, Matthias or especially SH are condition fights are two reasons. First of all, Matthias is a condition fight most of the time because the sacrifice gets to live longer against conditions. So if you accidentally apply conditions, some area of effect conditions on the enemy or on the enemy player that is normally your ally, it will die slower because the conditions first have to ramp up. That's the reason why you can say Matthias is a condition fight in this sense. But for example, SH doesn't have something like that. But the reason is a lot of condition builds in Guild Wars, for example, Condition Scourge, Condition Virtuoso. Those builds are really good in those fights because they are ranged. That's the important part. The distinction you have to make is is this fight favorable for a melee build because you can permanently stand in the boss hitbox? Or is the boss moving a lot? Is there some mechanics phases where you can't damage because you are a melee build and you just have to move around a lot? That's the thing you have to think about. And the uptime from this range builds is way better. And therefore, condition builds in Guild Wars are often ranged, and therefore it makes sense to run them at those. But it's not that they are conditioned, and that's why you run it most of the time. There are maybe some exceptions in the game, but most of the time this is true. So if you learn a new raid, most of the time I would say play a power build, or if you feel, let's say, insecure or you have to learn new mechanics, then you should play a build that you are really good at. And that is also fine if it's, for example, Condition Virtuoso, because you have so much utility in your kit. You know, you have invulnerabilities, you have ranged damage uptime. So that's why I would say you go for range or for these condition builds because they are so safe, you know. But in general, I would say it's not because they are conditioned. You know, that's not the main reason. So I hope that helps you a little bit. I think that's sad if an A is really always empty. So the strike missions, let's see. It's also quite full. But the thing about strike missions on EU is if I would post, for example, Iceblood Saga 5 or something, it will fill in a minute or something. So you will never see it rarely see it here because it's so fast-paced how it's filling up. I would say it's quite active to play 10-man content on EU. It's a little bit harder for the strike CMs, but for normal modes it's quite easy actually. Yeah. I'm really excited for the new raid wing. I really hope it's gonna be a blast to play, and it will also be really have a high amount of longevity. That people really like it, that there will be, let's say, more content, the achievements, the challenge modes, that they are really good, that a lot of people engage with them over months. I think that's what it should be. I'm really excited. And I also think it's really important that they nail the difficulty. if the difficulty is too easy or too hard, I think that will be a problem. So I think that's one of the biggest things they have to do. That the difficulty is fit so that a lot of people enjoy it, and the challenge modes are the really high level gameplay, and it's not necessary for the normal mode. I think that's really important. Because I think they failed to do that with the Soto Strike missions. Because the normal modes are way too easy, and the legendary modes and the challenge modes for that matter are really hard. So there is no really in between, and I think they actually they confirmed it. I think it's pretty much confirmed that they will do legendary mode. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think the problem is, 3 levels. I think there will be 3 levels. So I think there will be, the problem is with the KP on EU, a lot of people just want to play with experienced players, and there is no mechanic in game, you know, that you can say you have an experienced player. And so they avoid this issue by going for kill proof. I think that's somewhat reasonable, but at the same time, it's also really mean for people like you who want to learn and want to go into the raid, you know, because you will never get to this amount of KP if you don't play it, you know. So I see the issue. I think but it's really hard to fix. What would you do, you know? What could be a way to address this? I'm not sure.
No letting up. There's the power. Armor enhanced. Justice, courage, resolve. Getting healthy.
Nice, we got the kill.
Pain everywhere. Armor and face the consequences. Whirling light. Rage at maximum.
Nice, we got another kill. Really good. Yeah, exactly. I think the only thing that you can do is just go for some training in initiative and try to learn it with other people that are like-minded like you. I think that's the only good thing that you can do. And then you don't have a problem. I think if you learn with a Discord group or something, then you don't have any problem. To be honest, that's also the same way I learned it, because I was joining late to the raid party, and I learned a lot of stuff just by playing with people that are somewhat inexperienced and 1 or 2 people that explained it to me.
This is rather rare.
Yeah, it was a nice 1v2 there.
Getting healthy.
Was close, but it was fun.
My mobility is impaired.
Yeah, I think raiding in Guild Wars 2 is really underestimated how well designed the bosses are. Especially if you enjoy the combat system of Guild Wars. Currently, I would say it's a little bit sad that, for example, the new classes and spears are really overpowered. So, for example, Veil Guardian is so easy. You know, you just face tank everything and it dies in a few minutes. So that's a little bit sad. But I would say the design is really fun of them. So I have a little bit of, you know, I changed a few things here and there. So I'm running Commander's gear just to have a little bit more toughness on my armor and some boon duration, because if I reach around 40%, my uptime here is a little bit higher. And then I go for Marauder stuff, most of. And I changed some traits. For example, I changed Inspiring Virtue, which is the normal build that you would run in PvP, to this, because you have 2 ammunition charges on your F2, so you have more condition glades. That's mostly it, I would say. Yeah, and you can go for different food. It doesn't really matter. Just the 10% incoming condition normal damage is important. Just that you don't die in one hit. But yeah, I think it's not particularly different. It plays almost the same. And of course, on your spear, that's the cool thing. You have more access to different sigils. So on my sword, I play energy and cleansing because it's my defensive weapon set. But my spear is my offensive one. I go for hydromancy and rage. The reason for that is I explained it actually quite extensive in one of my previous streams, and I just can't get enough of explaining this. Because a lot of people think they should go, for example, for force, because force gives you 5% more damage. That's just crazy. You get 5% always more damage. But I think if you go for spear, you want to have a nice addition, because your spear is really bursty. For example, if you do your 5 and you hit it, then you do really crazy amount of damage in the first few seconds. Let's say you deal 10,000 damage in the first 6 seconds because you do all your damage skills. If you run with hydromancy and rage, you don't get the 5% damage bonus, and let's say something else that you would put on there from the force sigil. So you would deal 5% less damage. But yet, that's the important part here. If you run hydromancy and you are on spear, you proc some AoE attack that can crit around you and also applies chills. So the enemies will not get away from you that easily, and it can apply a crit. So it can proc the sigil of rage, which will give you around 4 seconds or a little bit more even, because of my wound duration, of quickness. So my normal burst would last around, let's say, 5 to 6 seconds. It's now, because of the quickness, in 2.5 seconds. You know? And therefore, or let's say if you need 2 seconds, the burst will only be 1 second because you have now a quickness, so 50% faster. So in this sense, you get a 100% damage buff in the first few seconds, because you get your whole burst in one burst window. That's the idea behind it, and I think that makes way more sense to just say, okay, I'll go for 5% damage increase, because 5% is nothing compared to a 100% increase by doing damage in 1 second instead of 2 or whatever you normally do. Exactly. So, like I said, hydromancy is not only because of the rage proc that follows after that, but also the chill is really good, because of course if people can't get away from you because they are chilled, you can deal the damage that you have to do in melee range. So that's the typical, thinking I would say you have to do as a world versus world player. Yeah, I think it's for PvE mostly this force sigil. But of course, if you are going for some other build, maybe it might be worth it. But I think for Willbender, it's not worth it at all. Yes, you have to be in combat. If I do it now, it doesn't proc. But as soon as I go into combat, it procs, and I instantly get the quickness. The reason is why I instantly get the quickness. This doesn't crit always, but I have a 100% crit chance if I have Resolution and Fury, and therefore that's enough to proc it all the time. Exactly, so the combo would be you go to sword, or you are on sword, port in or something, and then you want to deal damage and swap to spear, you get the proc instantly, and then you can do your burst combo. And as in a Willbender, you have so much mobility, it's most of the time it's actually really easy to be on the... Yeah, no problem. I always like to explain what my thinking process is, And I have to admit, Willbender is really fun to play. It might not be the best roaming spec. I made a roaming tier list last week or something, and I put it not that high just because it's not crazy good in outnumbered situations, and I stand by that. I think it's not the best roaming spec, but it's so fun to play. It's so fun. Yeah, exactly. So you have to be in combat, otherwise it doesn't proc. Yeah, it's of course they always you go in and you never go out, you know. So the Willbender just it will be a kill in the next few seconds most of the time. It's not like, I don't know, a thief where you engage and then you say, oh, I can't kill this, and I disengage. Of course, on a Willbender you can do the same, but it feels very fast-paced, more fast-paced, I would say. I really like it. And the spear is also, even after the nerfs, is really fun to play, I would say. It's so strong. It's crazy how much burst damage this spear does. I'm still unsure if the Celestial change in World vs. World is made it better, you know. What do you think? Do you think Celestial is now how it should be, or do you think it's made the game or the game mode a little bit less balanced? Because I feel like people now run a lot of tanky stuff like Trailblazer, and it feels even... I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of, let's say, full tank roaming style. I think the problem is there was a time where Trailblazer was totally busted, and then they buffed Celestial, and then it was fine, and now it's back. And I feel like, I don't know, Celestial was at some point actually better than full Trailblazer. But at the same time, I also feel it should not be that busted, because if every single class runs Celestial, there might be something wrong with the gear stat, you know. Let's see, you know, there will be 6 new relics in 13 days with the new update, and I really hope there will be some game changers, you know. I hope they are not that broken, like for example the Rivers relic, you know, where you just get alacrity on dodge. That's, I don't know who designed this, but it's just broken by design. I hope there will be fun and interactive relics. For example, like the Stormsinger one. I think the Stormsinger one that I'm currently running, I think those are really cool. I think something like that would be cool if they had it in there.
Statistically speaking, this is rather rare.
And I hope those new relics and maybe some balance changes will lead to a more diverse meta, where you don't have to run, for example, Trailblazer on every build, or that there will be some builds that run Ritualist gear, some builds that run Marauder gear, some builds that run Trailblazer, but are, you know, have some idea behind it, and not just, oh, I don't want to get bursted and I want to have fights that last 10 minutes. That's not good. I don't like that. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you, Perlinshaw. I think these boring percentage relics where you just get, like Thief relic, you get 5% more damage permanently or something. That's really boring. They should give you some really cool things, you know. I'm still hoping for example, something like the old tormenting rune, you know. That was the prime days where you could go for condition herald roaming, you know. It would be so fun if it, in a balanced way, you know, if they would reintroduce that, so that every time you apply, for example, Torment, you heal a bit. That would be cool. That's a really, really, you could make builds around that. I think that would be nice. But at the same time, I fear they won't reintroduce that just because it was so broken, you know. And I think I totally agree with you there, Apo, because I think the potential of relics is crazy. I think it was such a smart idea to split the rune stats from the relics, because now you can just say, I go full tank or on the rune and I use a really offensive relic. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been possible, because you had to choose the rune that was the 6 bonus that you wanted. I think that's really good. But they have to make relics that are somewhat competitive with other relics, you know, that you choose a relic not because it's the best damage option, but because it's the best option for your build, because it fits the best, you know. For example, would be Reaper Relic gives you Chill on Shout. I think that's perfect. That's just perfect for a Reaper. All other builds wouldn't probably not run that, you know, just because it's not fitting for the build. And I think that would be really cool if a lot of relics like this exists, you know. For example, like Palencio pointed out, the Zeros one is really cool because it gives you, for example, a new skill. That's really cool. I wouldn't say it's a broken relic by design, but that's fun, you know. For example, also the one, I don't know how it's called, the one that pulls enemies in is also cool. I totally get your point that Chill on Reaper is not fun, but I think it's a perfect idea of a build where you have a relic that fits the build, you know, that you take it, you know. But skills like the Zeros one is fun to use because you get a really cool skill. I am not sure if it's strong, but it's fun. How is it called? This one, Relic of the Wizard's Tower. So after using an elite skill, shield yourself with a projectile reflecting barrier while summoning a wave that pulls enemies towards you. There was some crazy cook going on with this build on a interrupt mirage build because you can chaunt on someone and pull them in and interrupt them. That's also really cool. No one plays this, but I think that's cool. You know, there is some really cool ideas going into relics if they are somewhat cool by design, you know. They might not be overpowered on every build, but for example on instant cast elites or something, that's really cool. At least in my opinion, you know. But the problem also is, I think they have, I'm not sure, they made a lot of relics that proc on healing skill, that proc on elite skill. I think that's a smart design, so you can a little bit influence them. But I hope that they will also do more relics that are like this, that you proc on elixir or healing skill, or like this, that you proc on a movement skill. So you have a little bit of variance. That is not always the elite skill, because some classes are just worse when it comes to elite skills, you know. Because Mesmer, for example, if you don't play Mirage, all of those on elite skill procs are not worth it because your elite skills are a little bit weird, you know. You don't deal damage with them, or you don't. It's weird, and I think you should make relics that are possible to run by a lot of classes and not only on one class. That would be my idea, you know. Yeah. I'm really excited to see. I hope they will also tell us before what they will release, but I think it's not the case. I think they will just surprise us on release date. Let's see. I mean, what kind of relics would you like to see? I'm really excited if you have some really crazy ideas that would make sense, or at least somewhat plausible to run. Yeah, the new relics will be out in 13 days, I think. They did not confirm it, but it's always, this timer always pinpoints the new patch. So I think you are somewhat right there, Kiri, that you have a niche build, and if you have a burst build that counters you, oftentimes the burst build will win. Yes, I totally agree. But at the same time, I think if you make the burst build somewhat balanced, you know, that for example, if the Willbender burst, you know, is on a rather long cooldown and you can avoid this burst, or you can survive it, whatever, that you have the upper hand, I think then why not? Why could there not be a relic that makes then sense, you know? Or why not make a relic that counters burst, for example? I'm not sure, maybe it would be broken, but for example, something like if you get 10k or something hit for within under 1 second, get a barrier of 5k or something, so that you can't get one shot. I don't know, why not, you know? And you could go crazier. For example, yeah, why not give a buff when you get really a lot of damage in a short amount of time to multiple people? Why not give you something that is crazy, that you makes you think about the relic slot, or not something boring like, oh, firework, it procs a damage buff, you know, when you damage an enemy with a skill that has 20 seconds or more cooldown on the weapon. That's just boring. And there's also no real counterplay to it, because most of the time those builds just have a lot of skills that have 20 seconds more cooldown. So you dodge one skill and the next skill just procs the relic anyway. So but it's also hard to say, you know, if is a build niche, for example. Would you say that Willbender is niche? I wouldn't, for example. I think Willbender is totally fine build, and it's not running any build, let's say, of this 5% damage increase or something like that. You know, so I think it's they are going in the right direction. I think they make exciting relics, at least some of them. Hi, only Tmo. Welcome to the stream. I would really, really like to see what you would come up with relics. I think it's because ArenaNet has a lot of, you know, gets a lot of criticism about how they balance their game, but at the same time, I'm always thinking, what would I do, you know? And I come up with a lot of different answers to that question, you know? For example, I would go in a different direction. I would nerf all the relics that just gives you a damage buff. So, for example, Fireworks or Thief Relic. I would change them. That's boring. All of the relics should be something more active, you know? That you, for example, deal a skill that you can dodge or something that deals, I don't know, 5k damage every 20 seconds. And if you can dodge it, that's good. Or something, you know? Because it's just really, it's just uninteractive, I feel like. You know, you don't have any possibility to interact with your opponent if they have this relic. Yeah, so Chrono, I have my YouTube channel, and be sure to check it out. It's in the Twitch description. And I have a lot of builds there, actually, where I share my opinion on roaming builds and what was all kind of content, not only roaming, where I talk about the builds and show and explain it, what my thinking process is there. And they are also try to cater to different kinds of experience levels. So I have builds that are really, you know, fast-paced, might be for more experienced players, but I also have builds that are easier to play. I think it's really important to have different kind of builds, you know. Not everyone likes the same kind of skill level for a build. But for example, my hope is, for example, that there would be some more interesting relics, like I just come back to the Tormenting Rune. Back in the day, you run Herald with Tormenting Rune, and you get, every time you apply Torment to an enemy, you get some healing. It was totally busted, don't get me wrong. But if you do it like a smart, not a big number, or something scaling, for example, it could scale on healing power more or something, and then it would be a little bit more, you know, cool, that you could make a build around it, and you don't have to think about healing because you apply a lot of torment. I think that would be cool. But they could also make something else like that, you know. I think that would be a fun build, you know. Yeah, exactly. So this is such a cool design idea. I think there are some skills like that, this reversal of fortune. So you get a little heal, but if you use it at the correct time, you actually get a really good heal. It's really broken, you know, because you block the lethal blow and you get some back heal. I think that's really fun. If you have something like this as a relic where you can change your build totally just because you use a different relic, I think that would be so cool. It's really, those ideas are great, but let's see if ANET is, let's say, bold enough to make those relics, because I feel like they are too game-changing and they can't really, they are not secure enough to make this decision. But let's see. I hope they do. Yeah. For example, one thing that was also really cool, that was a trait on Mesmer. At, how was it called? I can't remember. It was a trait when you applied confusion, and or when you interrupted an enemy, you applied AoE confusion. That was so good. That was so good. It was such a fun trait. You know, you could apply a lot of the confusion. How was it called? Just can't remember. It was one of my favorite traits. Mistrust. Mistrust. Exactly. It was such a fun trait. I really enjoyed this one. And if they could make something like that in a PvP match, in a relic scenario, that would be cool. Did I get him? Yeah, it was extremely cancer. It was extremely cancer for people to play against it. It was horrible. But if you design it in a way that it's not totally broken, that it's fun and interactive, I think that was a cool idea. They removed it because I think at this time they removed it because Mirage was coming out, and it would have been totally busted with Mirage's trait. But in general, I think something like that is really fun, you know. But a relic that steals health, I mean, maybe. I think they have some ideas like that. I think the Relic of Atrocity, or what it's called, gives you increased lifesteal. I think that's a cool idea. It's a little bit passive, but if you make it a bit, you know, more interactive, that you can say, I don't know, you cast your elite or your heal skill, and the next 3 attacks or something give you a more lifesteal, or even make it an attack, you know, like the Saros attack, the Saros Eye. Something like that, where you have some interaction that you can see it and dodge it. I think that would be cool, you know. There could also be some relics that, for example, if you have 2 or more people around you of allies, you give them something or something like that, something interactive. That would be also cool, you know, that you have to position yourself to procure that relic or something. That would also be cool. I'm not sure if they can do it, you know, if that's something that the engine allows, if you can, but I think that would be cool. Wow, that would also be crazy if you can say this relic doesn't do it a lot, but if you double it up, it will give you more. But I think they will not do that. I think that's too crazy. That would be really cool if you could amplify your buffs. But I think that's too crazy. I think that's not what they were doing. I hope they would, but it's not possible, I think. Because, yeah, exactly. I think that's just way too hard to balance. It's just... I mean, we had this to some extent previously. If you look back, for example, at the old days when you had this... How was it called? For example, Spotter on Ranger would give you 150 precision buff for your allies, and you would every class had that, and I think that was, I liked it at the time just because it was made a little bit, every class a little bit, you know, unique, but it was also a little bit annoying, you know. To get the most optimal team comp, you would have to run all classes in the same manner, in the same squad. Yeah, in the same squad. I think that is a little bit weird, but I think in general it makes the classes a little bit more exciting, that one class can bring something. I think that would be cool. I liked it, but I think it makes the game way more difficult because a lot of people still struggle with it. You know, if you look at, for example, Alacrity or something, it's still you have Alacrity, quickness in every sub, and if you then have something like Spotter as well, it gets really confusing for new players, I would say. But I like it, you know. I just have to admit that it might be a pain point for new players. For me, the problem with Spotter was also that you had to run gear around it. So if you wanted to crit cap without Spotter, you had to use different gear than you would have otherwise. And I think that's a little bit, you know, that doesn't make it, you know, that fun for me, because then I have one build template just because of that. And if you run multiple builds, it's even more, it multiplies times 2. So that's not really cool. Yeah, I mean, that will be interesting. I will, for sure, when the new patch comes out, make a stream about the relics testing stuff and also talking about my opinions about them. I think that's really interesting. Also want to hear your opinions, of course. Let's see. Yeah, I think they will do it somewhat soon because they said they will iterate on it. So the push will be more of a community development that okay, this time they changed this and we can test it. Then they say, oh, maybe we change it back or something and we can test it again. I hope it will come back. I think they said they will do another beta, but I'm not sure. I'm not totally sure that they will do another beta this year. Probably not this year, but maybe in January or something like that when they're back from vacation. Let's see. Would be cool. I think the question still stands if it really helps the game mode or if it's splitting the player base. I made a video about it discussing this for half an hour. If this is really the case or not, what are the, let's say, the advantages and disadvantages of push. I really hope it funnels the new players. I really hope. But at the moment, I also see the player count, at least on EU, is so low. It's insane. If you don't queue at, let's say, 8 PM my time, you have always match queues for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, always. And then you get into a match where you have silver and legend players together. So I really hope that push brings more people into PvP. But my fear is that it brings people into PvP and not into Conquest, that Conquest just dies from push. If that's the case and push is really alive, I think that's fine as well. But I really hope it will save PvP because Guild Wars 2 PvP is amazing. The combat is fun, build crafting is fun, and especially team play can also be extremely fun. But let's see. That's just my take on it. I think I will stop now. Thanks a lot, everyone, for watching today, for joining. Thanks, everyone, for following. If you did not follow yet, consider it. I'm always live on Wednesday and Saturday and Tuesday. And I hope you enjoyed my stream. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you next time. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel if you want to see more content from me. I push out daily content. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching.
All. Okay, we got some. Finish this. Go right side in 3, 2, 1. Right side now. Get ready for